Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESOC Summer Championship Tournament. Um, I am joined today with uh, Gaius Julius Megas. I seem to have forgotten how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Can you say it, please?
Salvete, my name is Gaius Julius Megas.
Thank
It's
you. Go ahead.
yeah, it's Julius, but with the Latin I, because the Romans did not have the letter J, so it's pronounced Julius, and I wanted to make that clear.
So, yeah, I don't know what I pronounce. I quite literally lost my Latin for a second. Um, And all right, so today we are in the quarterfinals, or round of 8, if you prefer that. Um, and it is against between Ungurs and Frontline. So we are jumping right into it. We have the bans and pick for the first game. There's one ban for each players, and without much surprises, I would say, given the track record of this, both bans were the same, and both bans were USA. So
I wanted to say if I had to guess, the bands would be Hausa USA. Those are
so
the most banned civs right now.
and it's very interesting that you mentioned Hausa because obviously that means that Hausa is pickable, right?
Yes,
Well, lo
that
and behold, the Frontline is playing Hausa. And Ungers is, some would say, countering question mark by playing Germany, which
I'm not
as we
sure. I'm not
all
sure if Hausa has counters at this moment.
fair enough, but as some high level player would say, like Germany's S tier and unbeatable. So let's see if that's true. Uh, all right,
If
so we will jump right into it. But go ahead, Megas.
I just wanted to add some one or two players might have spread this rumor that Germans are actually unbeatable S-tier civs. But in face of something like Hausa or USA, how they play right now, I think it's hard to believe. But maybe it's just my 1300 elo speaking there.
Um, Indeed. So we are getting into the game. Um, and we are. I think we are into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the first game in this quarterfinals or round of 8 between Ungers and Frontline. In the color blue, playing as the African Hausa, we have Frontline. And in the southern part of the map, we have Ungers playing the one and only Germany. What would you think about the matchup, Megas?
I think the Germans need either make some really early pressure with Pike Bow, or manage to get to the Fortress Age ASAP. Because if the game drags on in Commerce Age, the House of Death Ball will be unstoppable.
Agreed. Um, but crossbow pikes, I think, got more and more popular with Germany. I think at the beginning of the Germany was really like not a lot of people were doing the Tower Rush. A lot of people were just like semi FF gang all the way. Um, but I see that there's a lot of resurgence of this, um, the Tower Rush or even the Crossbow Pike. Some people even going as far as to include Charnos reforms to transform their crossbowmen. So really interesting to see German's evolution, and really interested to see how it will play out.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. We see definitely more H2 play from German players. And yeah, I wonder what Ungurs thinks is the best threat against Hausa.
Um, let's
We
look
have the
at
decks. Yeah.
yeah. So land a interesting. I rarely see this Crusade card. Um, Grant a small sum of food for each of the fields you have. Improves food gathering on fields. I think it's pretty much the only food gathering bonus that Hausa gets on field. I feel like Hausa fields out.
نعم
I'm trying to sound polite, but
مريد
they're
الأمر
bad. They're just bad. Like, that's horrible.
Especially because it's so tedious to make the switch into artificial resources with the African civs in general. I know quite few players who say they don't mind for the game to go that long that they have to go on fields. Most really want to end the game before this has to happen.
Agreed. So we have what seems to be a standard 1420 for Frontline. I think he really wants to age fast and get the ball rolling. Let's see what Songhai. So I think
Yeah,
there's no surprises there.
a classic song high, 15 raiders, sub 6 minutes. It's really insane.
And on the other side, Quartermaster. I think we're not breaking the meta today. I guess, especially not in H2 Politician.
No, definitely not. The German deck also seems not that not that weird. We have the silversmiths, which are a rare sight for non-merc plays. And we have but we have 3 merc shipments. We have the Pandos, the Jaeger, and the Black Riders, so quite 3 merc shipments in H3, which is more or less the maximum German players usually go for.
Mm-hmm. Really happy to see tenders. They were a staple where back when they were bugged and cost 500 gold. I think pretty
Yeah.
much every German main included that. Um, but I'm pretty happy to see that, especially in a deck against Hausa. Like, I feel like the death bowl of Fulani archers is not something you really want to you can deal with easily. But penders are definitely a good way to deal with that.
In the right moment, these 13 Pandos certainly can carry you to victory, yes.
As we have the university, I can't have the field on this university, but that feels
This the Great Plains may be one of the best Hausa maps ever, since you can place the university in your base and you have the TP post right behind you. You can put so you have the potential to have the maximum influence production in the university
true.
because of the close proximity of all those buildings needed for this.
I was just wondering. It felt far from the TP circuit, so but I'm pretty sure
It is close.
Frontline
It is close enough.
close
Believe
enough.
me,
All
it is
right.
close enough. It is close enough. If you place the palace in front of this university and build a trade post, this university will be maxed out. And here comes the palace. Now Frontline just needs to build a trade post, and this university will be the best university you can possibly have for Hausa.
260 influence per second, if I'm not mistaken. Keep in mind that influence has a 1-to-1 ratio to gold. It's exactly equivalent to gold. So this is essentially a bank when this will be built.
Pikes and the Ulans try to catch the raiders, but 4 of them can get away.
And pretty good macro. Unfortunately, he's housed. But managing to output a batch of crossbowmen. I think Ungurs must be pretty happy with the current situation. As happy as you can be against H2 Hausa.
Yeah, he has to outmaneuver the 5 Fulani. But if those out of the way, the pikes can easily fend off the raiders.
So, in terms of, if we look at the scouting real quick, because we did not do that, Ungurs has basically no interest in scouting his opponent's base. He's basically going to defend pretty much the whole game until he can push.
Frontline has only scouted a house from Ungurs base, so Ungurs scouting is a bit better even.
It's interesting. I would assume that Hausa would be the better scouter because he's going to be the aggressor, like 100%.
Yeah, and you have your now I forgot the name, the scouts unit. You have it because you don't need to build a trade post. The Germans have to build them with the I still forgot the name for the unit. Explorer. Thank you very much. So you have more liberty to scout than the German player.
And look at that macro for Frontline. He just now went above 100 food. Like, this is impressive. Speaking of macro, there's also micro, and Germany's also really good. I think he's going to slam the last pikeman at the last minute and have enough for a house, maybe? I feel like there's not enough people on
I don't.
wood.
He builds a house right now with the settler
never
wagon.
mind. Never mind, settler wagon magic.
Yeah.
He got 4, which is pretty nice.
This pike bone mass is quite respectable.
And look at that, a good out of range shot, still hitting the Fulani archers. Also, Ungurs really making full use of that wall, forcing the fight to twist around that town center.
Those are the tactical walls. This is 10 wood invested, but this 10 wood hinder Frontline from just charging into the base and take out 1 or 2 villagers. He has to go around this.
Oh, but those crossbows are very exposed. Frontline not deciding to take the bait.
The pikes are quite behind, so it is more of a bait situation than Miss Micro and Frontline.
So this is interesting because the person losing this fight will be able to get the treasure, and that treasure is a shipment, and both of them wants to get access to it.
Ungurs just started the treasure. I'm not sure if this was the right call.
I don't think it is. Like, I guess he's gonna rush with the. Yeah, and
Frontline can take it. Frontline can just take it.
I think that was a blunder from Ungurs.
Frontline does not take it, but he could. And now the pikes are dwindling, and the crossbows are more and more exposed to the raiders.
As we have only 2 pikes in this mass. Last pike. This fight is going very poorly.
This fight goes hard for Frontline.
Does Ungurs have any reinforcing badge? No. So
he has a bad fight reinforcing that can save his remaining crossbows from the raiders, but he lost all the Uhlans, so he lost his mobility.
And he also lost the shipment. So he started the treasure and he lost the shipment. That's very unfortunate because I feel like he could just have moved the army forward to spook Frontline and maybe take it quickly. But I think
he's aging now. He is aging now with the exiled prince,
which is really good because
Frontline has not enough siege to tear down the base in time.
So at the end of the day, those pikes did some work just by dwindling down the mass, so he just cannot right-click the TC, which is nice.
Yeah, I think they did enough. They did enough damage, but still the fight went poorly for Ungurs. It was not a good fight. It was good enough for him to have the time and breathing space, but it was not good.
Like, I like the idea of Doppelsundner. I think he's keeping them so he can pop them, I'd say.
Maybe.
I would not.
We will see if he goes through with the patch or not. Because I don't think he will. Yeah,
No,
he broke it off.
And I think we're going to see a very standard skirm, war wagon, and the remnants of whatever he had in H2.
Yeah.
Um,
But he cancelled the shipment and the war wagons. He sends now the Black Riders.
Huh. Interesting.
Not sure about that one. I think some war wagons would have done him better service because of their extra range.
I'm really interested to see that because German Black Riders have really strong tempo shipments against like strong Cav Civ. Like imagine like friends spamming Hussar or Cuirassier. But
I think it could work. Look at this mass of raiders right now.
That is true. And yet, Frontline recognizing the weakness of Germany, trying to house Germany. Ungurs being pretty chill about that. He still has 20 pop left, and even that house.
He has enough pop left. He can make the batch of Doppelsöldner full if he wants to.
And I think he's making more houses in the back, yeah. So he's waiting for that pop.
He will pop out the doubles.
And the pop is...
not because he has not the resources. No, because he used it for the Minutemen. Those militiamen are a bit isolated, I think. They don't do much.
To be fair, the griots are losing health. This is good.
Yeah. But I personally think a pop of 5 Doppelsöldner would have done the trick better.
That is true. He has that... He doesn't have the pop anymore.
He sends 9 units. And tries to get the vet upgrade through in his stable.
Frontline is pretty happy to boom behind it too, so...
I think the stable will go down before the vet upgrade. Yes, the stable goes down.
That's really unfortunate.
Because those 9 veteran units would have been able to turn this.
But the Fulani are completely exposed.
They could still turn it because the Fulani are directly under the TC and there are not many Javelin Riders out there. And the Black Riders really do well against those raider masses.
And I think Germany actually has this.
I think too. I think he has it.
And keep in mind there's not TC enough firing all the while.
And he has 8 out of 9 Black Riders left. So
this is amazing, and they are high health.
This went way better than I expected. Way better than I expected it to happen.
He has a stable. He's now ahead in score because Frontline lost a huge amount of resources on that push.
He's now ahead in age. And and they both have a similar mass of units, so he can now relax a bit and build himself up and can now counter push with better army, quality wise.
I think the next step for Ungurs is really important, and that's securing map control. He's completely out of hunts.
Definitely,
and
the hunts
needs to go in there and defend.
Those hunts wandered off far. And he needs the food.
I would not even be surprised to see an outpost or a TC here.
He could take the Cheyenne settlement and get the Cheyenne hunting grounds for some safe bison in base, but eventually he has to go out.
Oh, and we have a bit of a raid going on. 2 villagers dying to Ungurs Black Riders
raiding.
And keep in mind that these Javelin Riders are not that fast. Like, you see them at 7 speed only because they're buffed by the griots. But Black Riders are faster.
Yeah, they are definitely faster. And Javelin Riders don't have good base damage.
Yeah, I think they're a bit like the forbidden child of a dragoon and a longbowman, in the sense that they really need to stand and fight to maximize their DPS.
Yes, and a bit of pikeman is in there because they need to fight against the thing they counter to do the damage.
True. That's that was a messy conception. Um, so we see more wall actually from
I
Ungurs.
mean, it makes sense. He can't herd in this bison in time, so better to wall it just off.
Mhm. Very unfortunate hurting because those bison are going
Yeah.
around the
Oh
wall.
no! Oh no!
Not
They're on
like
the
this.
wrong
Not
side of
like this.
the wrong side of the wall. Go back in
So
there. Where I can kill and eat you.
Bereit.
no,
Hallo?
stop building the wall. That's. But he has so much stuff to watch over. Like he's gonna go back to this
Danke,
wall.
dass
And
du mir Lösegeld
I'm
gezahlt
pretty
hast.
sure he's gonna swear when he sees that. So he's also out of coin, but I think he has a safe coin mine in the south. It's already
The
being
Ber-
gathered.
the Berlin Wall has been built, and all the bison are on the wrong side.
Terrible. To be fair, the pronghorns are saving the day and still staying on the right side. So there's that, I guess.
At least something.
Um,
But this remess, this Hauser remess, never ceases to amaze me. Look at this mass of raiders again. And here's the counter attack from
Kann mich ein Echo
Ungurs.
that is a pretty amazing mess. To be fair, Frontline has not spent the 2,000 resource necessary to get to H3, so that's a whole lot of resources you can spend on units, obviously. But this is still a pretty amazing remass. So we have 51 units, and that's exactly 51 pop because all of these units are 1 pop, against 57 units. But keep in mind, those units are 3 population and those units are 2 population. So it should be quite a more powerful army, judging by the population cost at least. I think quite a more expensive army too.
Es geht mir besser.
It really comes down to micro at this point.
And
Now-
a pop of
ooh.
raiders, good pop of
Ooh,
raiders
the
on the
raiders.
skirmishers.
That hurts.
8 black
That
riders,
hurts.
pretty much all of the anti-cav, and I'm not sure it will be enough. These black riders need to get a whole lot of value.
The Ulans try to act as anti-cav by body blocking the raiders, and they get the raiders. They can dwindle them down, but there's still javelin riders and griots and Fulani archers. I'm not sure. Now I think now that the fight went surprisingly well again for Germans. I guess
Yeah.
the H3 units really show.
And I think time and again, Ungurs showing like the true power of mercenaries when played with good micro. You know,
There are still 6 of the 9 Black Riders. 2 died in this battle. Only 2.
and Frontline calling it. I am shocked by the efficiency of these Black Riders with Ungurs micro.
Those Black Riders really must have a broken back after carrying this game this hard. Those are not Black Riders, they're broken back Riders right now.
So remember, next time you see these guys, like give them a raise. There was so much more than 270 coin. Like, come on, guys. All right, this is a win for Ungurs.
It's what a
Sporting
win it is.
5k less resources. And I think what must be a gigantic amount of idle villages second. Huge lag, economic lag in each three. But then look at that! Look at that fight!
This is
Beautiful, beautiful fight.
peak efficiency of units and resources we saw there.
Um, really amazing. Do you have anything to add to this wonderful game?
I think I said everything. Those Black Riders and the how Angus used them. Both big fights went exceptionally better than I ever expected for the Germans, and a well-deserved victory for Angus in this first round, I say.
All right. So there are. It would seem that Angus has a bit of net issues. So we are um, sorry, we are waiting for Angus to check out his connection. Meanwhile, let me update the scoreboard to reflect what the wonderful game we just saw. So let me put you guys in this wonderful transition mode. All right. So we have Ungurs with a very convincing win against Frontline. We don't know the civilization for game 2. Against it would seem that Ungurs has some connection issues. Actually, put you guys in the transition mode real fast. Because it would appear I forgot something. Yes, I forgot something. I forgot that Frontline is not actually an Incan priest, but a person. So there you have it. Frontline is now a human being. To be fair, a Incan priest is too a human being and not just a character of campaign. So, there's that.
Not if you ask the Spaniards back then.
That is dark, but I love it.
Dark. It seems that there is the next game. I found it at least. I don't know
so
if
maybe
the
they
internet
forgot to
problems.
tell us.
I don't know if the internet problems appeared during the game, but there is one.
Let's see. Well, it's Hokkaido, so it must be game 2.
Yes.
All right. Maybe they just pauses it. So we'll be right on the game. We are. Let me put you guys into transition mode while I make the necessary changes for this game, and we are back online. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 of Frontline versus Ungurs. So for those who just joined in, Ungurs played a quite impressive Germany against Hausa, winning with, to be honest, sheer micro of his mercenary units, which is pretty amazing. On this game 2, we have Ungurs playing on the left side of the map as the Haudenosaunee against Frontline playing as the Maltese.
Yes.
Right off the bat, Frontline taking a 50 food treasure. Everybody loves food treasure in age 1. As Ungurs had discovered 80 XP. Pretty nice when your first shipment is not here yet. Do we have anything out of the ordinary? No, he's chopping wood to get a TP. there will be no water start from Haudenosaunee, which could be one of the possible ways. I see it a bit less now that it was nerfed. The dock takes longer to build now. So
Yeah.
I think
I don't play Haudenosaunee, but I think that the water start on maps like this is still probably one of the best things you can do with them. But sure, it will cost you some tempo if you do it.
So this is a really interesting matchup, and I don't know how it will go because both civilizations have a very strong and some would say oppressive H2. So I really want to see if we'll get this, two H2 titans colliding.
I'm running out of baguette. I need more baguette. Fuck me.
If this is a
Maybe
really
I'm
rare
gonna go out
matchup,
later to buy more.
I just tried to remember when I saw it last time, but I actually can't. I don't think this is something we see every day. And I'm also excited on how it will play out. Will this game ever go to Fortress Age? Will they both just stay in commerce? Or will they do something completely different than we are expecting right now?
As we have what seems to be treasure steal. Ungurs has engaged that treasure. Who will take it? Is it Ungurs? No, Frontline. We have a treasure steal. Malta pretty happy about it. He will be able to age up. Actually, Gangster before H2?
Interesting.
I mean, sure. Yeah, canceling H2, realizing the mistake. Quartermaster and the Chief. So I think the Chief is 2 Travois. Maybe you could see 2 Travois like right there, blocking the way.
I think so as well, yes. I'm never sure with the native age up politicians. I'm really never sure what they are, except of the fast age up, of course. But I think the chief is the 2 Travois. We see a market in transition for Ungurs. And both are not moving villagers forward, so no front bases for both of them.
To be fair, you could have a front base without moving any villager forward, has Haudenosaunee because of the Travois.
As Haudenosaunee, yes, but if Malta wanted to go for the infamous double hospital pike bow rush, then he would have sent 2 villagers to the gold mine, to the silver mine in the center of the map.
That is true. We
Ungurs
have
claiming the second trade post on his trade route.
Interesting. So this is not a standard hard rush because I think
No.
you use that wood to make tomahawks and houses.
Yeah, definitely. This is not standard what he's playing. He's playing a more economic variant.
So I would be curious to see here. So, oh no, that's the healer.
Oh, it's the I think it's 2 villagers and a healer or something like that.
Yeah, and a Travois.
And the Travois, which is standard for every Hound and a Shawn age up. But this Travois moves forward and will be placed as a warheart, so we see a front base.
And on the other side, because he went for the German tongue in transition, we have a commentary. So very defensive setup.
Yeah, hard to rush into commandery and TC.
But Unger's still keen on making, a tomahawk. Maybe it's just like posturing, having a few units here and there. Actually, scouting with his healer, which is interesting.
Yeah, he wanted to see if Ungurs built a dock. Frontline built a dock. Sorry, not Ungurs.
You're right. Yeah.
He wanted to scout the water.
And Frontline. Does Ungurs see it? Ungurs is focused on treasure right now, which is very unfortunate. Because he could have caught that pop of pikes.
Yeah, definitely. He could have. Yeah, definitely could have stayed there and siege down the hospital or fend off the pikes who will now try to siege down the trade post.
And as we see exactly, Frontline sieging out the train post.
Yes?
Ungurs being scouted here. That's unfortunate because he doesn't. Does he see? He doesn't see the carcass. That's so unfortunate. This villager is the luckiest villager on Earth. Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon. Nope.
They come back.
She's a
They
goner.
come back.
Wait.
They come back.
Wait.
Unahoden.
Run! Run!
Run for your life!
Can she do it? I think. Oh no, wrong turn. No, juking in and out.
Bonjour.
The sentinels
so
are
intense.
behind. This is a
This
DE
is so
Musketeers.
I think she will get away or not.
Jonathan Taiba.
This is so
Meanwhile, by the
intense.
way, there's bikes here, but
And
and
there are
the quick
Kanya horsemen.
walls.
Kanya horsemen on the other
Oh
side.
no!
They will get her. They will get her.
That's a sad end to a story.
But the tomahawks will die to the sentinels. Or at least
Rip.
will be fent off.
Rip Final Settler. Never forget. But the pikes are here, so maybe her sacrifice will not be in vain, because that is a good surround. Ungurs realizing it.
There are 2 new batches of tomahawks also there. But Frontline has some longbows somewhere. He sent the British tongue. There are 10 longbows. And now he has the better army. Longbow, pike, and some sentinels. Those Kanya will try to get into the longbows, but the pikes and the sentinels are nearby, so they get 2 of them. It was better than I thought.
Alright. What's up with female settlers today? Like, one of them is like juking for days, one of them is just like hunting casually in front of the field. Like, wow. Go girls.
Absolutely mad lasses.
As we see that, I think Ungurs is considering, retreat, falling back a bit, massing up.
I think this is the smart thing to do. The mass from Frontline looks quite scary right now. 12 sentinels, 8 longbows, some pikes. And he also has now better map control. He has a second commandery on the top side.
We gotta appreciate the micro thing of Ungurs, like moving the healer at the last second to waste shots. Like, this was so unnecessary, but that's such a flex.
Well, if you can do it, then do it.
Exactly, so I guess we'll see exactly the longbowman moving in. Wow, this is super slow for a longbowman. He almost lost one.
Yeah.
And the Kanya being essentially snare machine at that point.
Yeah, that's the only use in this situation to snare. More longbows we have. No, it's still. I think there were.
No, there's more longbows. He's training.
Yeah, there are more longbows. He trains longbows. So no Maltese crossbows. We see longbows. So he thinks. I really don't like Malta. I rather play Brits instead.
Muskets and longbows.
Musk and longbow, baby.
To be fair, that works. So I guess all the power to it.
It definitely works. It definitely works. Those longbows are order longbows, so they have a 10% buff on their base stats.
Mm-hmm. And they will shadow tag.
And they will shadow tag. They have the 22 range that a longbow has, so in H2 they probably outclass even Maltese crossbows.
Mm-hmm.
When you get all those crossbow upgrades in Fortress Age, I think they will get outshadowed by the crossbow units, but we're still in combos for
that
both.
Pop is, but that pop is just like he's popping them back and everything is
Yeah.
fine. We have pikes in defend mode, making them harder to catch. But he forgot about them. That's unfortunate.
The healer is still alive. The
So
healer
meanwhile, Frontline sieging down the war hut. Go ahead, I guess.
Yeah, nothing. Just that he stood right next to the war hut that was sieged down, and now just casually walked away after it burned to the ground.
Indeed, and reinforcing the north part of the map where these Sentinel desperately needed some reinforcement. I think they will lose the commandery. Also, keep in mind, in Hokkaido, having 2 commanderies on either side of that big, mountain is really nice. Because it helps with mobility. You obviously cannot go all the way through the mountain. So it's quite a loss for Malta. But to be fair,
With Commander, you can. You can go through every mountain.
Yep. Malta expert tunneling skills.
Yeah.
At work. We do see switch to crossbowmen, Megas. At least some shipping of them.
There was a shipment. He sent the 8 crossbow shipment just from as he hoped they will get out of the commandery in time, but the commandery was destroyed before the shipment arrived.
So I'd say, as predicted, both of them really happy to stay in H2 and spam to their heart's content.
Ungurs switched sides. He thought I don't fight. I don't need to fight on top side of the map. I just go around the mountain and attack the base.
Which is pretty smart, because it would seem that Frontline is caught out of position for just one trading post.
Definitely, this trading post maybe will be the downfall of Ungurs. He will lose many villagers right there. 10 villagers are in grave danger.
My god. Yeah, 1, 2 going down. That's a third for sure.
4 are dead. 5 are dead. The last 5 will also die without getting to safety. 2 survived and 1 with,
one is low HP. 3 HP villagers surviving.
Yeah, 4 HP. 3. Next
And
villager
Frontline
could
with the
die.
quick walls, but he... Oh,
Those Carnias are
trapping the
trapped.
cav.
The Carnias are trapped.
And I thought
They
he was
won't.
protecting the villagers, but the villagers saying like, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
The Carnias got out surprisingly well. I saw them dead, to be honest.
Yeah, but this is
But
not
6 Carnias
over.
get out.
Does Frontline has a pop? No, he's making the Hussar too late, so that won't be a
This
thing.
raid, I still think this raid was quite significant. We have 28 villagers for
42.
Maltese and 42 for the Haudenosaunee. And Ungurs also has the trade route. He takes his second trade post back right now, so this is also an economic factor.
So, can Ungurs counter-throw the game by sieging the same exact trade post? Stay tuned to figure out.
Yeah, and now the Maltese army marches into the Haudenosaunee base.
Because Frontline is literally doing the same thing Ungurs did 2
same
minutes
thing
ago.
on the same trade post.
So, unfortunately, he's just sieging. He doesn't have the mobility of Ungurs' army with all of those canyons.
Yeah, he sieges the war hut, so I think
It's-
Ungurs comes back, his army will get back in time.
But it's
and the
34 to
damage-
58. So,
The damage is minimalized, I think.
so keep in mind, Ungurs has done a lot of economic damage. Malta is behind. But the thing is, Malta has a mass. So Ungurs need to hold down.
He needs
Hold
to
on.
hold, he needs to make damage without losing too much of his own army. Because if Frontline loses this mass, he can't remass. in the same rate that Ungurs can, and Ungurs is massing. He builds more war huts, and he makes some tomahawks, and he hides behind his town center.
Town center with 10 villagers, killing a lot of resources from Ungurs.
And those sentinels don't have the bonus near to buildings in the base of Ungurs, so they won't be as effective as in the defensive position.
True, but those sentinels, I just realized, are 183 HP, so they will take 3 town center shot to die.
Yeah,
which is pretty significant.
they're still a quite efficient unit. But the mass of Ungurs is growing, and I think he has 43 units in his army to the 38, so Ungurs outmasses Frontline right now.
So, trip to Jerusalem is going to deposit, I think, enough coin when it comes in to basically go H3.
510 coin and 510 wood. Enough coin to go to H3 and enough wood to get the upgrades through in the Fortress Age.
So I think
Also build
this is
some more.
Go ahead.
Yeah, also to build some more infrastructure. This was all I wanted to say.
So I think the plan of Frontline is aging up. No, he's just training more Order Hussar. Like, I feel like it's just a standoff with who will be the first to blink and go H3. And it seemed that
Now Frontline
Frontline.
gets caught. He gets caught. I think he loses a bit more than he wants to.
Yeah, I think that could be game if... Oh no, reinforcing batch of Hussar, he's gonna pull trick.
Yeah, he gets away.
Yes?
He will get away.
And surprising feature of the Maltese hero, it still counts as an
called-
idle unit.
You
Look at
called it. Frontline is aging now with the Adventurer.
Oh, interesting.
So he will get some crossbows.
He's sitting down
Ungurs
the
is-
TP.
Yeah. But not with his full army. not repeating his mistake.
Visaina will easily clean up this heavy infantry.
Yeah, those few units. But Ungurs is following with all his mass. I don't think this is a good decision.
Definitely not. And that's bait.
I
That's
don't know
100%
why
bait.
Frontline goes in there. He's aging. Just wait. You have no pressure right now. You need to hold your mass so you can upgrade them. I don't understand this attack.
Maybe he saw the opportunity with the heavy infantry here and decided to jump nonetheless.
Yeah.
But that is a
I-
lot of dead units.
This was a miscalculation, I'm afraid.
So, for your
Ungurs'
info, go
infantry
ahead.
mass was not too far away. He just turned around and could face this.
The most damning thing is that he lost a lot of Order Hussar, and these were the first to Shadow Tech. The second he hit H3, so that could be really bad for Frontline. But to be fair, Frontline has a huge score lead. Even though
He has.
a lot of
he
villagers
has.
behind.
But yeah, those Order Hussars, they are tanky boys, and they would have been much more tanky if he kept his mass. Now they fight in Fortress Age, and the longbows and the hussars are shadow attacking, have shadow attacked, and now this is a good surround. And
Yes.
I think this is a clear. This is a
Yeah.
And Ungurs surrenders because Frontline cleared his army in his base.
Interesting. So Frontline making the bold decision to attack while aging, and still wins. Impressive.
Is indeed impressive. I thought this was. I really thought this was a grave mistake that will cost Frontline the game. but he drew Ungurs into his base, kept enough mass, got a 5 Hussar pop right in the right moment out when he aged, and surrounded and killed off the Haudenosaunee infantry.
It's really impressive to see that this is a 95 food resources unit. To be fair, it's weighted toward food, and this is a 100 resource unit. And to see the sheer difference in stats, obviously those are two pop,
Okay.
but
Tomahawk is actually in H2 the most resource efficient musketeer unit.
interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I made some calculations a few months back, given it was one patch ago, but still.
And but you'd seen that just the mass of light infantry, the mass of order hussar, the sheer economic power of this, German tongue in transition build,
Yeah,
such a strong build.
German tongue economy is strong, and I really think the shadow tagging hussars and longbows saved the day in this last fight.
That is most probable, indeed. All right. Um, if we look at a bit of the graphs, resources gathered, we can actually see Trip to Jerusalem carrying the game here. Holy crap! That's quite a jump, and it put Frontline above Ungurs. Ungurs, it was above Frontline for most of the mid game, I'd say. In terms of military population, keep in mind that this is a bit misleading because Malta's musketeers are two pop units. So in terms of count, maybe, yeah, we have something that's a bit more realistic. Really good fights for Frontline. Like if you look at Frontline for Ungurs, for Frontline, yeah, Ungurs is like diving regularly. I think you can see it in the villager count. Yeah, here, Frontline behind in villagers.
After Angus managed to kill so many villagers from Frontline, it really looked well for him. But Frontline then took some good trades, and especially the last fight was just a complete flip in game dynamic.
Mm-hmm. So we had Ungurs playing as the Haudenosaunee, and losing, and Frontline playing as Malta and winning. So it's 1-1 in this best of 7 between Ungurs and Frontline. Let's see if we have a game ready for you guys.
Yep, we do.
There is.
And a 1-1 start, I think, is a good sign that this won't be a 4-0 clap for one of both of them. So we can be excited for interesting for more interesting games.
Mm-hmm. I also think that both players had really the opportunity to express, their gameplay and their like signature gameplay. Like Frontline was often like excellent macro, good builds, and really, economic powerhouses. And Ungers was that just ungodly micro that will just take 5 goons and wipe an entire army of hussars. So it's really interesting to see like how it plays out.
Definitely.
All right, as we are jumping to the live cast, we are back. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 3 between Frontline and Ungurs. Frontline, there's no T. Frontline and Ungurs. We have Frontline on the top of the map playing as Inca and yet another powerhouse economic civ against Ungurs playing in the southern part of the map with the Hausa that we saw already in Game 1. Ungurs is now piloting Hausa. It used to be Frontline in Game 1. So we will see if he does better. And right off the bat, we have a very aggressive move from that explorer. He wants those cows, and he wants them yesterday. So it's yak, actually, but that's basically glorified cows.
It's it's more or less.
So,
They're part of the same family of mammals, so close enough.
true. So I feel, because else the livestock mafia will chastise me, but I feel obligated to say that yaks are actually better than cows. This is one of the few, actually the only livestock unit in the game that has a growth rate faster than cows. On a normal livestock pen, you can reach up to, without upgrades, 1.5 food generated per second by these yaks, compared to, I think, 1.25 for cows.
I did not know that different livestock animals have different growth rates. I did not know that.
And the reason I'm called sheep, am I?
Yeah, and you talk about the livestock mafia. I thought you were the head of this organization. Who you are afraid of?
I don't know. I won't talk about him.
The Lamb of the Lord is after you.
But yeah, there is a difference in between different livestock, and obviously there's difference with. Go ahead.
I did not know that. I learned so much in the last 2 minutes.
And the livestock market has a different growth rate per age to basically nerf African economy that would be completely unhinged if they had normal livestock pen power, because basically you would get this would be the equivalent of 4 extra villagers basically working for you. So they have a reduced gather rate in the early game.
Oh, god damn it.
So after this short but sweet expose on livestock, we have the Elder for Inca. I think the Elder is... It's not the Wise Woman, so it's not the buff.
I think it's the wood getter rate. It's the wood getter rate for the.
I thought it was the Wise Woman. But if it's the Elder, I stand correct.
Again with the native HUP politicians, I'm not sure, but we will see. I guess we have 0.5 getter rate as is usual. We will see if that changes after the HUP. What I wanted to say, while we talked extensively about livestock, either Frontline did not get any, or he consumed them on the spot. Because I don't see yaks in his face.
Interesting. There is a decent amount of scouting, so I would be surprised if with a Chesky and my bot Tupac Amaru...
maybe he ate them instantly. This could also be the case.
Yeah, because I think there's 8 yaks on this map, and there is 6 right now in sense.
Yeah, and we have 4 that have not been found yet.
So there's actually 10 or 12. I don't remember. So Songhai for Hausa, again, no one's surprised. Frontline aging up with... And of course he has nothing on wood, so we can't see it.
We can't. Now he moves some. And now he moves, and it's 0.7 on wood, so I was right, it is the wood getter rate.
would gather it. So
And
it's
he
this,
has the llama on the community plaza, which also get us 1.05 wood per second.
yeah. So if you didn't know, for those who are not House of Inca player, just one llama is enough to gather 1 wood per second. This community plaza costs 100 wood, so essentially, in a minute and 40 seconds, you get back your investment, and voila, you got 2 villagers with that. So really try to keep that llama. It's really strong.
Frontline activated the big button and got some plumed spearmen, which are trying to siege down the war camp, and he also starts with the production of tiger claws.
So we are seeing a native rush and a boom at the same time.
I don't think we could call it a rush since there's just one tiger claw and no front base.
The tiger claw
But
literally being a one-man army right now. So,
he's literally Wolverine.
so careful, guys. He's after you. But yeah, this. So he's gathering treasure. The shield of the grapple. Very nice for the Incan explorer. He has a lot of HP. Helps also with regeneration because it's relative to the health pool. That could be a raid actually. At good pull trick on Ungurs, he won't lose that villager. Ungurs must be confused to no end on why this random tiger claw is just here. But he didn't get the war camp. War camp got repaired actually. So Ungurs is having none of that.
Yeah, but Frontline did not lose that much. He lost 1 pike, I think. And now he sent the 2 war huts and is actually building a slightly front base. It's not that aggressive, but it is. He takes the middle of the map with it.
I don't. Oh, they're here. Right. And this, you can see this defensive ring really giving line of sight and a bit of walling, even though there's folds everywhere. But that's I don't think that's the point. Mainly to get line of sight and just hinder the passing.
Definitely. Also gathering 0.6 food per second with the Gansha houses, and he sends the ginger brewing, so he will have quite a decent food eco just from his houses.
I feel like this is maybe a bit too greedy. He needs unit. He needs to keep this alive.
He needs it, yeah. One batch worth of jungle bowmen just came out of 2 war huts, so he would have profited if he would not have been that greedy and actually gathered some more food with his villager. So he could have get 2 full batches out. This would have helped him way more. Another single tiger claw.
There's 4 actually in there.
Yeah, but this batch consisted of 1 again.
Oh, okay.
So, but he has 4 in total, yes.
Really interesting to go for these tiger claws when you have one of the best shock infantry in the game.
Yeah.
I guess he wants to use the power of the explorer.
The explorer aura, which buffs native units, but right now the explorer just lies on the ground, so he does not even have the aura.
I'm really surprised Ungurs is not playing more aggressive because I feel like he has such a crushing advantage right now. And it's Inca, so the clock is ticking. This is 9.6 food per second. Like this is 2 factory worth of food just trickling away. You don't really want to wait against that.
Yeah, not sure what the plan is, but he's not losing units. He's constantly growing his mass, so right now it doesn't look bad for Ungurs.
True. And Ungurs using the wonderful siege that Raider have. Unfortunately missing a torch throw. I think this temple was second away from collapsing.
Yeah, he could have just destroyed it. I think he could
And I think
allow himself.
this is looking good
Tiger
for
Claws.
Ungurs.
This looks very good for Angus because Tiger Claws are very good shock infantry, but they are more like shuttles in the sense that they are lancers and they have multipliers against infantry. So they don't fight as well against other cav units, like Chimus would do better, I think.
And Ungurs convincingly winning this fight, and he's definitely in the driver's seat in this game. He's the one dictating the tempo, he's the one threatening the buildings, and he has a huge score lead.
And he has he has halved or more than half the mass from Frontline and kept his own, so he can just push on.
So
into
in the
base.
tally, we have 14 units for Frontline against Mother Nature. We don't care. Ungurs 41 units and counting, because he's also sending the Berber allies. Really interesting. He's starting to siege down the Kensha houses. I think Fulani archers will lose to Jungle Bowmen. Jungle Bowmen are very, very strong.
Not again. On the other hand, Fulanis have one more range. Has he sent here? He must have sent the card. There's Fodio tactics on them. No,
Not
they have
yet,
17
but we
range.
could see it. Yeah.
Yeah. After the Berber allies, there come the Fodio tactics. The thing is, I think Jungle Bowman will win in a direct confrontation, but they have a longer animation, so you can kite quite comfortably with Fulanis, I think, if you have the room to do so.
So,
and he attacked the treasure with 300 XP.
And I think Ungurs is like not making the same mistake again. Really making sure there's no one around. Like, I'm taking the treasure and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And look at that. That's half a shipment right there.
Yeah.
So really, really strong
Big
for
button
him.
is ready. He needs 10 influence. He can send 5 more raiders.
Making more anti-cav. I don't think Frontline will do that much Shinu runners. And if he does, I think it will be for raiding purposes.
Yeah. On the other hand, the Javelin Rider can help take down the pikes, and the actual work is done by the raiders. But Angus gets a bit caught in the close combat, in the close space, and the pikes are effective.
And keep in mind, this poison is really doing the trick for low HP raiders. And you can see the light infantry of Frontline really bullying, I'd say, the raiders.
Yeah, Frontline really used his space well in this fight. Because on open space he would have just got surrounded and outmaneuvered, but in this close combat, in this close space combat, his pike bow prevailed. I don't know if it's a good idea to push out like that.
I would not think it as a good idea, but then I am not a top elo player. Both units are at the same speed. Those jungle bowmen are clearly baiting, but Ungurs not taking the bait, calmly waiting. Songhai being cold, Cav HP being cold, so he wants those Raider to really be able to...
Yeah, and the Fulani archers have 20 range now, so they can comfortably kite everything Frontline can put out in Commerce Age.
Fun fact, it also increases their siege range. So if you want to siege these Kensha houses from afar and slowly annoy Frontline to no end, maybe you can do that too. Ungurs wisely taking that flag on the native post. I don't think he wants to see Tiger Claws.
Oh, the
Betrayed.
the bows get caught, and Angus gets some kills and moves his raiders back. And now there are the Chimu runners, and the Javelin Riders
Oh,
will
yeah.
have their moment to shine.
We were focused on Ungurs, but yeah, Frontline making a lot of Shimu runners. Shimu's trying to dive on the mass of light infantry.
I see a lot of blue going up, so this fight goes well for Frontline. No raiders left, and still enough pikes and bows to push back, and this fight goes well for Frontline. He wins this fight. I'm impressed.
I'm really impressed too. Like, every time you think Inca is on the ground, they just surprise you. That's amazing. Unger's really using the power of his micro effectively, killing the hero, getting 100 XP. That's nice. Keeping alive this mess of Fulani archers. That's pretty impressive. And Javelin Riders are countered by Jungle Bowman, but he doesn't seem to care.
Yeah, now it's Javelin Rider versus Jungle Bowman, so he desperately needs some heavy cav, and he got some Lefidi Knights and more raiders, so he can. There are no pikes, so this heavy cav will do short work out of Frontline's army, I think, if they can connect.
By the way, I think you're like 2 or 3 seconds ahead of me. If you're following the game, wait, you're following the game on my end?
Am I ahead or am I behind?
I think you're ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm at 16:04.
Oh, I'm 15:55.
Alright, wait.
Another fight in there. I'm soon to be at 16:04 now. And we have Javelin Riders and Jungle Bowman being taken care of by, as you said, the Lefidi Knight. Lefidi really having an impact. This is not this flimsy raider that you can kill with light infantry. This is a tanky boy, and you definitely see that there. The trade was so much better for Ungurs here.
Yeah, but he got rid of the Chimus, and the bows managed to survive because the Lefidis got also enough damage on them so that Ungurs can't just engage, and now there are pikes back on the table. Pikes are back on the menu, boys. And Ungurs needs Fulani archers again.
So I think we'll have this this dance of counters that we know and love. Keep in mind, I think Roughma Riders give you the ability to be Trenya in Commerce Age. So now Ungurs has access to a high HP cav unit. Even if he loses those Lefidi Knights. And did you hear it? Did you hear those vuvuzelas?
Here the dude.
The dude of doom is coming. That could also change the outcome of the fight, because it really messes with melee units' ability to do their work by reducing the attack speed of the units. I think this Rios will die to the poison. Poison is really strong against units that have like no multipliers, and when you want to focus down either units that counter you typically, or that have a lot of HP, like monks. I think this is a good trade for Ungurs, but I think his overstaying is welcome. And
he used his Javelin Riders to kill 1 or 2 villagers instead of the fight, so I'm not sure if this was a good trade, but he has his mass intact, so I guess it's okay for him. It went not that bad. The Tembo and the 2 Warhuts we saw 10 minutes earlier are standing again, so
That is pretty good. So thank you for the subscription. I didn't catch your name, but thank you very much for the subscription. Let me see if I can see it in the
Coyote
chat.
Willy.
Coyote
Wiley.
Willy. So Coyote Wiley, thank you so much for the subscription. Maybe we missed other follows and subscription. If you're here in the chat, please please feel free to raise your hands and and say it. We are as we are seeing the destruction of this light infantry mass from Frontline. Fulani archers just being happy to abuse their range and completely bully the jungle bowmen out of the field.
And now some villagers are just running through the battlefield.
Maybe
This-
Frontline wants to like tank with those villagers.
Not sure. I think he wanted to send him to the herd.
That sounds like a fuck up.
I don't think this was on purpose.
To be fair, there's a war hut. There's
a war hut, but some got definitely sniped down by the Fulani archers. And we have some raiders in base dealing with the jungle bowmen.
Yeah, they should focus the jungle bowmen because they have multiplier against them, and that's exactly what he does. Mass is looking scary for Ungurs, while Frontline basically has none.
This last fight, this last engagements went better and better for Ungurs, and now he has mass, and Frontline again has lost his military force.
And Ungurs has 7 Javelin Raiders. There's a lot of Chimu runners, maybe by Frontline, but they're just trickling in. So I think that we may soon see the GG here, unless Inca can pull off an incredible feat of turtling. And if any Sith can pull that off, that would definitely be Inca, so all is not lost.
Yeah. We're seeing, what is this? Oh, Great Feast. Yeah. On the one hand, Frontline is not that much in need of natural food resources because his Kencha houses almost collect with 1 food per second. On the other hand, he has to switch to artificial resources and is more and more under pressure because his front base gets deleted again. He has now 2 war elephants. I don't know how long they will survive, but love to see them.
They will do
And more
okay
villagers
against
die.
the Raiders.
More villagers die as Ungurs destroys the last war hut outside of the base of Frontline. We have
So
39 villagers to 54.
So we have Ungurs going to H3. He has Mygadis. Those Mygadis with Shadow Tech. He's generating quite a bit of influence, so he'll be able to field those Mygadi pretty reliably.
Yes, this is the last nail in the coffin. Ungurs has the map control, has the better eco, has more villagers, has a big mass, and now is going to Fortress Age.
And the fast age up option is in there
with
too.
this Frontline can't defend against this. If this army gets upgraded and just pushes in, I don't think he can defend against it.
I think we're going to see maybe even the tokens of influence, the tech to get the cannons, and slow pushing with 2 or 3 falconets could be a thing.
We could see this. We see the ranged warriors and handcav upgrades, of course, and no, he sends the Fulani Archer Combat card.
So I'm still ahead of me because he has not sent it yet. He just sent it.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm at 22
Free Food Party,
minutes.
thank you so much for the raid. Big raid from Free Food Party. So I guess today was Cavern Combat casting.
I think so, yes.
So I will just avoid talking about my fate on Cavern Combat. For those who know, you know.
Yeah, my fate was also less than glorious. So you are with friends here. I understand you.
Um, and yeah, Ungurs is now having almost a 10k score lead. I guess we'll see the score lead when the unit pops out. Yeah, almost 10k. Getting the upgrades, really getting, warm and cozy, getting ready for a nice, relaxing late game. And he just pushes in. That's, at that point, I think essentially a cleanup. I don't see how Frontline can hold this. Those War Elephant would get wiped from the face of the earth by those elite Javelin Riders, not without killing a few Fulanis, actually.
Yeah,
And
they
wait,
will
what?
get something. This fight again, it goes somehow well for Frontline.
How?
I have no idea how. I think Angus just attack moved in and the pikes really got good damage out on the radar mass.
So
You
I,
see,
I'm sorry for the Twitch chat and everybody watching right now. I was so sure that was a wipe. I was just zooming in on the War Elephant being destroyed, but actually, this is still like a fight, and the pikes are getting an amazing amount of value. They're connecting. Those raiders are
pikes
very low HP.
beasts. Those pikes are just beasts.
I think they're the
I
best
tell
pike
you,
in the game, and that's not even
Yeah,
close.
I think they definitely are the best pike in the game. Just stat wise, I think you can't make an argument against that.
And for those who were wondering where the Maigadi were in this fight, well, they were in farming duty, I'd say. So
All right, Frontline.
Frontline calling GG's. Maybe that was the reason why the fight went so well. Let's just see real quick the villager population during that fight. Yep. All right, that's why.
I have to say, I think it really speaks for the fighting spirit of Frontline to not just insta surrender when Angus got to Fortress Age with this massive army on his side, and then taking the next fight and actually taking it better than anybody would expect in this situation, and now just surrendered because the Maigadi farmed those farmers. I have to say I'm really impressed.
To be fair, I've seen game where Frontline like unleash his full turtling power, and this is frightening. This is really frightening when Frontline goes full turtle. We just saw it, like out of nowhere he takes good trades, and you're like, wait, I was 10k resources ahead. Well, those, like, where's the res gone? And suddenly, like out of nowhere, he just pulls out a lead. And again, if one Sith can do that better than any other, it must be Inca.
Yeah, definitely.
So post game, we see Frontline actually again. I think Frontline never disappointed on that part. Like he always had the most resources, even though he was significantly behind in terms of map control and access to hunts and natural resources. Frontline still managed to pull off the max resources. Obviously, the KD at the end just was worse, but I think he got good trades the whole game. If you look at military unit pop, you see like Ungurs getting a bad trade here, a bad trade here, a decent trade here. Frontline completely collapsing here. I think this is the moment she lost the control of the game.
Yeah, this was the moment where he had to draw back into his base, and Angus had the breathing space to collect the resources for the Fortress Age.
And yeah, resources pretty much neck and neck. You can see the cow being sold. Frontline definitely ahead in the mid game, but neck and neck in the late game, even though, keep in mind, Frontline was on farms. So,
Yeah, but
Inca with Civ.
the kancha houses are an economic force. If you have maxed out on the houses with the ginger brewing, they will carry your food income.
All right. Anything to add, Megas, before we move on?
I said everything I wanted to say. I'm impressed of the fighting spirit of Frontline in a phase of the game that already seemed desperately lost for him.
So we are back, and
I will be AFK for a minute.
go ahead. So while our good friend Megas is AFK, we are updating the scores. So Ungurs just played Hausa and two and leads 2-1. Frontline losing with the beloved Inca. All right. Well, we are looking at that. Ooh, I'm pretty behind on that chat. Frontline too confident. That's why he lost. He needs to respect Angers. Interesting take, King of Viking. Um, do you think he didn't respect Angers? I felt like turtling and being very defensive was definitely a mark that he was not like fooling around with those with those sorry with Ungers. I like villagers that don't move and can gather all resources at the same time. Madonna, we know you are a Swedish maid. Um, Torps are good. Torps are love. Torps are life. Um, but honestly, let's face it, the best thing Sweden has is the fish, and I will die on that hill. Um, Surströmming, best card in the game. Um, so, do we have another game while I guess I am being silently hated by Madonna for that fish? Do you want to see Surströmming in the ESOC tourney? Well, um, people could. There's a build. You know the build. You casted the build. But maybe not for an ESOC tournament. I would be so pleased and so honored to see Surströmming in a tournament.
I'm back and I hear things I also really love to see as a Sweden main. To see some Surströmming. This would be epic.
So let me just change that thing real quick. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 4 in this quarterfinal between Frontline and Ungurs. We are still in the ESOC Summer Championship. So it's always sunny in ESOC. Still the summer in there. Frontline playing the crowd favorites, Ottomans, against French Ungurs. If I'm not mistaken, Ungurs is famed for his excellent French, which would not be far-fetched given his micro. But I'm not sure about that. Bruce Lee Ray saying, "Great automap." I could not agree more. That's a million trading posts and Ottomans like trading posts. We could even see forgetting the name right now, a Silk Road build for this one.
This
And
would be fun to watch if it happened. Yes.
but we will see such a classic matchup. I don't know about you, Megas, but I would give this one to Ottomans. I don't think French is that good against Ottoman, but that's just my humble opinion.
The first thing, I think this is the first legacy matchup we saw in this series. Yeah, the first
You are
legacy
correct.
matchup. French have the thing that they always have, or most of the time, have to work more than their enemy for victory, and this matchup is no different. Ungurs definitely has the micro skills to do that, but I'd see the advantage for Frontline, especially since the colors are wrong. Ungurs should have taken the blue color for French, but that's just my opinion.
Just interrupting real quick, we see a telltale sign. 20 resources, and by the way, 20 resources exactly on each crate. Like this is high level gameplay.
Yeah, he left the resources. For people that don't know, if you send the Silk Road, it does not just make every food resource crate that you send 25% better. It also puts 25% on every crate that is still there even before you send the card. So he left 20 resources in every crate and will get the 25% on top of that. This
And
is peak efficiency.
indeed, and a lot of auto players. And whenever I play auto, I love playing this build. And I always like that, one at 40, one at 60, and I have sometimes I just mess up with that. He's at 20 on every crate. Like this is obviously he had to do it perfectly. That's aspirational, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, they're just built different. Anyway, so we see a Silk Road build. Pretty happy to have called that one. And on France, we have a 1420. So pretty, I'd say the greediest option for France in the normal option that they have anyway. 200 wood being gathered, so I guess we're gonna see another TP, and that is very smart of Ungurs. So I think Ungurs really realizing what's happening, taking as much TP as he humanly possibly can to really just hamper Frontline's ability to use that Silk Road.
Yeah, or at least make Frontline work for it. I think the French greed is necessary because this Ottoman build is, I think, also the greediest one possible.
Frontline knows he doesn't have a house, right?
One would no. He does not know. He does not now. Now he knows. He builds it now.
Don't worry, we've all been there. The build of shame. Mine is often 4 villagers that just out building in rage. Like, just build it now. I need it.
The 4 villagers panic building a house.
As we see, go ahead.
Never happened to me. Never happened to me.
Never. As we see, what's more and more common for Ottoman players, a move being trained so that Ottoman spy that gets promotion and costs a bit more food but less coin. Don't ask why. But
especially since a normal spy just costs coin, I think, no food. Or am I wrong in that assumption?
No, just coin.
I saw this also more often when I play against Ottomans, that they will just build one of those movies just to assassinate your explorer. And it's so annoying. I hate it.
And because of the promotion, he has now 180 HP. He has, as any spy, a huge amount of line of sight. He will even be able to be scouted to scout around. I love actually that attention that Ottoman players do. You have a mosque, you might as well use it. And we see my favorite unit, the ASAP.
we don't see just the ASAP, we see full wood army for Frontline, ASAPs and rattan shields.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those rattans. So, Musk Huss, but the wood.
More or
Food
less, yeah. More or less Maskas, yeah. Pike Huss, if you want to be that bold to call it that way. To call an
Ooh.
ASAP as something as a pike.
Really interesting. I don't know if you saw that one, but Rattan Shield, one going on the right and then being pulled trick, completely owning those spikes that were snaring them. That was beautiful to watch. AZAP using their 22 siege attack, which is 10% more than Musketeer, to kill that trading post. That Mudir, if he's paying attention, he is not. Oh yeah, he is. Will get another promotion essentially for free. And
Oh, this is so frustrating. You just got your explorer back to life and now he's dead again.
And this unit is now 210 HP. And keep in mind, this is not a heavy infantry unit. This is just hand infantry and infantry. So this is really good to tank skirmisher shots. Not that Ungurs, is planning on using skirmishers because that would seem to be like a double Rax Musk play.
Yeah. He has his 2 patches of pike and now switches to musketeers. So this will be a full-on war just for the trade route. As expected, and I have to say I'm all down for it. I think this is what this map makes so dynamic, this battle over the control of the trade route.
Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to My Pike is Better Than Yours Ottoman Edition. As we see AZAP completely owning pikemen from French. And the red and shields are not doing so bad either, but that's, normal. There's not that much pike. Ungurs trying to make the best of it, losing those pikes, but at least he will run around the army. On the other side, Ungurs has 15 musketeers. And he's pretty happy to siege down this.
The thing is, those musketeers even lose to ASAP since they have 4 more range and just can kite the musketeers. This is I call this the most frustrating thing playing against Ottomans ever. If you use you need the straight counter unit for those ASAPs or you can't deal with them.
That is true. Keep in mind that crossbows will counter them,
They will.
but they will, I think, lose one-on-one because they have less HP. So, again...
Yeah, and they have the same range, so the crossbows can't kite. So they will fight in a direct combat, and ASAPs are cheap and thus more efficient, and will win this.
We have
Ungurs sending 700 gold, or is it 600 gold? So either he wants to double down on H2 unit production, or he will use the gold to up to fortress. Since he's building some wood units, he does not need the gold he has in the bank now.
True, we missed something. Frontline went to H3.
Wow, when did that happen? I have not.
We
did not.
We're so focused on that AZAP thing that we forgot that there was a game, and so 102 wood per pass. That's the power of Silk Road right there. He will be able to do the AZAP buff. He will ship falconets, and you have a pretty rounded composition. AZAP will counter cav, all kind of cav. And falconets will counter essentially the only counter Ungurs can make in H2, which is light infantry, so crossbowmen for
Yeah.
French. So
This is much true, and Frontline did not stop on the red and shield production, or at least he has still some on the field. So he has mobility, he has cav, and he does not need much gold for all of his units.
mhm.
He doubled down on wood army, and with the Silk Road and the trade route, his wood eco is good enough to sustain this.
Mhm. And obviously, trading posts always gives you the same amount of resource, whatever you choose. So wood is always the best option because wood is the slowest resource to gather, right?
Definitely.
Another thing that's interesting, Ungurs really playing the trading post game, like really making sure he's still profiteering from that trading post by basically pirating, doing piracy on the on Frontline's TP line. Um, he is now age 3. Keep in mind that ASAP get 1 range attack and 1 siege attack range for some reason with every upgrade, and 2 for the Imperial upgrade. So they now outrange crossbowmen and will do so for the rest of the game.
I did not know that. Holy hell. They now
This-
have more range than some light infantry units.
Yeah, that's a heavy infantry unit counters light infantry. That's normal.
Yeah.
That
Just Ottoman things.
Just Ottoman things, exactly. On the eco side of things, Frontline forgetting that. Oh no, he's popped. I thought he didn't research the.
No,
he researched
he's
it.
Max Pop. And he's sending now 5 Sipahi, sorry.
And so ASAP, Falconets, Spahi, he's pretty much all set. He can kite, he can raid. Ungurs cannot pivot to Dragoons. He has to go for hand infantry, because Dragoons will get obliterated by ASAPs. That's not even funny.
Yeah, that's the ASAP's really destroying Skim Goon compositions. With their mere presence. Like, now we may see a Falk War, and I think Ungurs will win it, since he could have the first shot. No, he's pulling back. The Sipai are in the middle of it.
I think you are a bit ahead of me.
I'm again ahead, sorry. I'm at
No problem.
12:32.
28 and 32.
Alright.
So Spahi being pretty much effectively dealt with, Frontline winning the Falk War, and Ungurs has to fall back.
Which is unfortunate, because if he won the Falk War, he could drag on the fight, but without it he has to pull back, because his infantry army will just get shot to pieces by their falconets.
So 2 other interesting ASAP facts while I'm here, and I can't really hide the fact that I'm pissed about ASAPs anymore. They will get benefit, obviously, from infantry breastplate. They will get benefit from both hand infantry and ranged infantry cards, because they are both intact. And if you put them in melee mode, they get melee resistance. So there you have it.
Not so fun facts about ASAPs with the dynamite. The more you know.
Huge
The
Falk
more
shot.
you know. Oh god, this is free Cuirassiers pop out of the TC and can maybe snipe down 1 falconet.
So you can see the melee resist here. Very good move from Frontline. He will get the falconets, and even though the ASAPs is strong, my guess is France is stronger.
The Cuirassier lives on with 7 HP. And now France has actually a huge infantry mass, and with the veteran skirmishers he has more range than the ASAP, so he can actually push on them.
Prête.
Oui.
Careful though on this rattan shield. Of course, CDB have range resistance, so this will be an absolute bloodbath. This CDB needs to go. Like, he won't save his friends. Oh, but the 7 HP Cuirassier, right after saving the day on the battlefield. Yeah, no, sorry,
He gets killed off.
completely bodied in one shot. That's unfortunate.
And I think that could, yeah. Oh, this hurts. Three Kurere boars are dead, even though the Cuirassiers are present. But oh, there's imams and not Yuruk. Right, some imams
So
running around and getting shot down.
So 2 imams. In defense mode, they still have their range resists, so that's really fine for Ungurs. 26 siege attacks, so they can siege buildings. Frontline wisely interrupting the reinforcing lines because he know he can't fight head on. Like, that's not gonna happen. And that's not the end of troubles for Ungurs. Mamelukes are coming. So these skirmishers will do, as you said, very well against AZAPs, but you need to catch them, and they are
You need to
4.5
catch
speed.
them. And some delis are raiding the Coureur de Bois in the north. And now the ASAPs can also shoot, so this are quite some dead Coureur.
So keep in mind something really important is that AZAPs, contrary to every light infantry unit, is a heavy infantry unit that behaves like a bow, so they don't have any negative multiplier against cav. So you will get a decent amount of damage, even in hand cav and not light cav. As you can see here, like this Cuirassier really took a big.
The only saving grace is that they have 9 base range attack, which is not much, and heavy cav has range resistance.
That is true. Keep in mind this 1.5, so this is essentially equivalent to 18.
Yeah, it's
range
18,
attack.
basically. Now they will. Some get caught, but the Cuirassiers are dead now.
So they won't be able to kite anymore.
Nope.
And the 4.5 will make sure that it's going to be hard to get back. Also, Ungurs cannot really get in there when there's like 12 high power cav, I would say. So there's
Yeah, the 4
Mamelukes in there.
Mamelukes just tanking everything, and veteran Delhi, which are DPS machines.
So what's Ungur doing? Ungurs did a second TC.
And
Ungurs
siege
pretty-
down the trade route, because Frontline has 4 trade posts, which are getting him a lot of resources, so he needs to get rid of those. But Frontline can now just march back into the base and do some more structural damage.
But I like Ungur's position here because those cav are really far away. And you don't, even if AZAPs are hard to catch, you don't want to leave them alone.
Yeah, this could be a mistake if Angus catches up to them. But right now they are far away enough, and the cav is now close again, so they can maneuver around as they please. Explorer snaring the ASAPs, but Frontline thinking fast, leaving that one ASAP behind. So the others can get away.
So these delis, I don't think. How many anti-cav does Hangars have? That's just 16 Musk. That's not
Musk,
enough.
and he starts with the production of Dragoons, actually. He has 5 out, sends 5, and has the next batch in training. So 15 Dragoons in short time.
So Frontline getting a bit caught right here. But ASAPs will save the day. You won't be able to push with the Dragoon with ASAPs. I just wish he's. Oh no, don't do that. Deletion in 3. Wait. Yeah, don't sacrifice a Mameluke.
The Mameluke is still half HP. But yeah, he lost much HP for nothing right now.
So Frontline getting the full control of the TP. Ungurs still ahead economically, 44 CDBs to 34 just normal Yurk.
Yeah, but I think the TP line really
Votre ordre?
evens out the difference, and now there are 5 Falconets out of Frontline's foundry,
Evet.
and the army of Ungurs is a big infantry army in its core.
So we still
5
have more
Falconets.
Dragoons, which is a bold choice against ASAPs. But that could prove,
Hazır. Emrin
you know,
evet.
good
Emrin
against those Falconets.
Yeah, this could really save Ungurs against the Falconets, and I think he wants to be
So,
sure that
I think
Delhi
Ungurs, yeah.
and Mamluks can't
Ungurs
do.
sees it.
damage.
Frontline popping the Bashibazuk. Really trying to. Frontline really walking those Falconets to be sure he's not gonna miss the shot.
Oh, big shots from the Falconets. Even though the
That's-
Musketeers and Dragoons do the best job they can.
Honestly,
But the
this is going
Mamluks-
pretty well for Ungurs, all things considered.
All things considered, yes, but there are still 5 Falconets just demolishing buildings and army.
A good old
And-
GOA raid in the north of the map by Frontline, actually catching the TC as it's being built. Dragoon outsmarting ASAPs.
One Falc
Fortunately-
down, 4 to go.
Fortunately, those ASAP will make short work of the goons. There's the great CDB migration because the Mamluks.
They are harassed by the leftover Delhis and Mamluks. Those Dragoons will catch them now. 1 Mamluk dead, 2 still alive. And the last Mamluk,
Nice.
I think this went the best way it could for Ungurs, while being still quite a dire situation for him, but because he has 4 Falconets still pushing onto him.
True.
He's
We can see
Getting
though
some
that,
Kulfs now.
yeah,
Counter
the
this.
Coles could really bring that home. He lost quite a bit of resources and mass.
He needs gold. He needs gold ASAP to get a second Culverine out. He
I
needs to
think he's
sell
just
some
gonna.
food.
Yeah, he's just gonna sell.
Yeah, that's fine. No, he
does
didn't.
not forget about it. Oh no.
Yeah.
So as we can see, the ASAP does not one-shot the Colovrins, so if any dev is watching, I think they need a buff, like maybe a times 4 against artillery or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I really think that's the minimum
That's
we can do.
necessary in their function as a pike unit.
Exactly. But jokes aside, we have a small musketeer raid. Ungurs trying to get information, but not getting any because there's nothing here. Frontline happy to keep on going with the ASAPs. Really surprised to see there's no arsenal being built. This is a very cheap 10% HP.
Yeah, he has the trade route set on coin to get more artillery out, I guess. And he's getting some Culverines himself to make sure he can use his Falconets.
Wait, is he building them or is it? Am I tripping? I don't see the villager. Oh, he's here. Never mind. I'm tripping. So yeah, Frontline really wants to get some map control. Like, look at Frontline line of sight. This is beautiful. There's nothing he can see on his part of the map.
Yeah, if anything crosses the border, the trade route, he sees it. And he's getting the last trade post, and I think the situation looks comfortably well for Frontline.
And like, in comparison, look how anxiety-inducing the LOS of Ungurs looks like. Like, we're in a horror movie. We don't know where the bad guy will come out. Like, That's
The,
that's
the
go ahead.
score is getting really tense at this moment, and the serial killer can strike any second from any direction now.
Exactly. Even though good Ungurs keep raiding, taking villages left and right. But speaking about taking villages left and right, those CDB are just gonna hop in that outpost. But Frontline's super happy to lose all of these 5 guys so he cannot train for 1 minute. That's a super good trade.
Yeah,
that.
he's keeping 13 Corredi Bois idle because of those 5 Retin shields.
Oh my god, there's so much Falconet.
See the engagement. You see the engagement. The Dragoons are doing their job well enough, but the Culverines from Frontline do a better job. And now,
And look at that, yeah.
yeah.
Ungurs resigning before we can see the true butchery that would be ASAP against Dragoons. So, yeah. Casters should not be biased against civilizations, so I think I will stay silent. But good game. Good game.
The game was from beginning against Ungurs, but I think Frontline, besides using a unit we both can agree on, is a bit questionable. Did a really intelligent Ottoman play with the trade route from the beginning, fighting for map control, going a wood army with the Retin shields, using the natives. So he did many things I really like to see in a game, and wins this comfortably.
Indeed. So in terms of resources, Frontline comfortably ahead, even though he had, I think, less villagers overall. Yeah, Ungurs was.
The trade route did it so much for him,
Yeah,
economy
we
wise.
can actually see how much he got. Free resources, 1,200. Keep in mind, this also counts like the crates and everything, but most of it is the trade route. And like when you're at like 8k resources ahead, just thanks to trade route, I'm really happy to see that he went with the Silk Road build, really strong build for Ottomans, but really lacks strong build at the moment. So I'm pretty happy that Frontline gets to showcase as one of the rare, very rare, strong Ottoman builds. Oh, damn. Sorry. Spoke again. All right, do you have anything to say before I quickly move on? It would seem that you don't, or maybe I can't hear you.
Come again?
Oh, did you have anything to add?
No, sorry. I
No
phased
problem.
out. I said everything I wanted to say.
Don't
I'm
worry.
happy that we have 2-2. I think we have
Yeah,
2
and
wins for everyone. So this is a really exciting series, and I'm happy to be part of it.
keep in mind we've been casting for 2 hours, so it's going on quite well. That's nice. Um, all right. Let me put you guys in the scoreboard so we can update. So Frontline with Ottomans winning the game against Ungurs French, unfortunately losing on Central Plains. You have the maps up top. I think the next map will be Guyanas.
Yes, it is.
A
The
really
game
good
is
map.
also up, and we will see at least 2 more games for any side to win. So stay tuned.
That is true. Um, let me just. So we have the game. All right. I think we are back, and on this game 5, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We welcome you on Guyanas, this wonderful map where Ungurs will play Russia against Frontline playing Brits. So, a legacy matchup again in this. That actually feels a bit more legacy, I would say, than the previous one because Ottoman was massively reworked.
Yeah,
And
Ottoman, despite being a legacy civ, don't feel like a legacy civ. But same could be said kind of about the Russians at this moment because they got new skins for the units. But in core, they're the same civ, so.
mhm. Curious to see if Angers goes for new card with Russia. I don't think we have access to the decks yet. No.
No.
In terms of early treasure, Angers going for coin. Interesting. Frontline going for 2 mana houses. Really nice placement on these mana houses. I really like that when you have like these 2 early warning mana houses covering up 2 potential raiding directions.
Yeah, definitely. Using your mana's provision is a thing you see many Brits player do, and it's always nice to see if it's done well.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's a hallmark of like good Brit players. Like high level Brit player will do that all the time, and really shows you I'd say the caliber. Like I will always do my mana houses like in a clump and realize that they have line of sight after building them. So really nice to see that. That
I
here.
actually try to use them for visual purposes, but yeah, sometimes I'm more determined to make it right, and sometimes I'm a bit more lazy.
For Russia, do we have a deck? So this looks like a very standard deck. The only new thing I would say is New Order regiments.
That's right.
Basically the only buff that go to Russia, if I'm not mistaken, is that the Boyar cards will basically split into 2 and covers like the whole roster now. All infantry, like all standard Russian infantry, except grenadiers, and all cavalry units are now buffed by 10%. I think this is huge, especially for the recruit, which was sorely lacking an H2 buff.
Yeah, some people are arguing that this is actually a nerf since you need now 2 upgrades instead of 1. But on the other hand, this is a 10% damage upgrade, damage and hit points upgrade in H2 for every standard unit you can produce in 2 cards, and I think this is the card at least itself is pretty strong.
So I was seeing Horsefeed saying like no patriarchy. Sorry, Horsefeed, we will not see a priest rush this game, and like I'd say I was talking about LOS for manor houses being the hallmark of high level Brits. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Horsefeed. Monks are the hallmark of high level Russian play. The true Russian mains rush with monks.
Yeah, definitely. I have to add now that we are still in the beginning of the game that I'm again bothered that the colors are wrong. The Brit is not playing red, and it disturbs my inner peace.
I think it was you that was shipping the church card to get the get the red coats, right?
I started when I played Brits and got the color blue to ship the church card just for the thin red line to make my musketeers red again. And I stand by that decision. Dare you to tell me wow it's wrong?
Don't worry, you can die on that hill. I mean, you will with thin red
I
light.
will
So.
die. I will die on that hill, but I'm ready to do it.
And Frontline must win this, or I go broke. So Frontline, you have a lot of pressure on your hands. You know, like it's not quarterfinal or anything. There's channel points on the line, and that's what matters.
That's what matters the most. Yes.
Um,
Both are HQ now. First shipment 700 wood, second shipment 4 villagers for Frontline, and Ungurs with the front base sending. But sending the spice trade first, so not going that aggressively. Just
And-
taking the map control.
I love this for Russia. I've seen more and more Russia players taking their time in H2, going for some greed. I've seen medicine. I've seen spice trades. I like it. Like, you know, switching away from the rush identity.
I like it as well. Less rush, more aggressively taking map control with those blockhouses. And yes, I really love to see it. And Angus got a villager there building that manor house.
Let me just go back to Brits because I'm not looking a lot of Brits. Recruits, I think were raiding, and I think they got a villager, right? Losing recruits always hurt, but it hurts much less than losing musketeers. Brits going for cav, which is always, you know, something Russia struggles against early on, because these recruits don't have the best.
Highly advised when playing against Russians to get some cav out soon. But Frontline doesn't know, but Angus is actually building some Streltsy, so this Hussars will do even better.
Ungurs, I think the spidey senses of Ungurs were tingling, and he's building a stable right now. Like, he knows something feels fishy.
I think you need to get up as stable as Russia sooner than later, because those Cossacks are actually really efficient cav units.
You hate to see the 3 Hussars recruits struggling to cover their Strelette friends. Recruits being shipped right now, so this is pretty good. Considering the circumstances, this is really good for Russia.
Yeah, actually. The Hussars did not as much damage as anticipated. They did the damage, sure, but not as much. And now the 2 Hussars will wander off, try to get some villagers.
So Ungurs is on 23 villagers. Hunt situation is not looking amazing. Those hunts are super far. Herding is not amazing. Frontline situation somehow seems, I'd say, better because of this one, but this hunt is incredibly far. To be fair, Guyanas has very far hunts after the first ones.
That's kind of the problem with Guyanas. When the first 2 safe hunts go out, the next one are quite far away or tend to wander off to the outskirts of the map.
And you were talking about something, I really like what you said about map control as Russia, because on Guyanas, because these hunts are far, having those blockhouse being to be able to, you know, to survey where are the villagers hunting, to project force really quickly is really nice and can really threaten Brit with a container.
Definitely, but Angus needs to watch for his own food villagers. Frontline did miss that one villager on the south side of the base of Angus, but not all herds, not all hunts are near the blockhouses in the middle and are somewhat open on the map. So we will need maybe 1-2 more blockhouses on the map to secure all hunts for himself.
Ooh, but the
3 Hussars
getting caught. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And those guys won't be able to tank that much in the front line.
No.
Like 100 HP Hussar can be destroyed by those Strelets.
Yeah, and there are two blockhouses in the back of them, so he could not have stayed and not stand and fight in this position. And now the Russia mass looks quite it's okay. The British
there,
mass
yeah.
looks quite scary actually. There's lots of hussars out there. 13 hussars
That
and
is
24
true.
musketeers. This is a
Minutemen
huge
being
tough mass.
called, and they... Oh, the trap is good. Recruits are not that much on the hussar, the strelets are not really shooting the musketeers. I love frontline position right here.
But Frontline does not commit. There are more Cossacks coming out, and there are two blockhouses shooting. So
Oh, and
I'm not
nice,
sure.
and the strelets are in melee, destroying the musketeers. All the ranks can fire. These militiamen don't have that much HP, and Frontline will be left with a mass of muskets, but you don't want to be left with a mass of muskets against Russia.
And Frontline has a lot of villagers standing around the town center doing nothing.
I think he's overwhelmed. There's so much thing he needs to do.
I think he did not use his hussars in the best way possible and lost them prematurely under the two blockhouses, and now Russia has the mass and can just push in.
And he just shipped 5 Cossacks, bolstering his numbers. Doesn't have to train them.
It's actually remarkable that the 5 Cossack shipment comes at the 10th minute of the game. Now the new order regiments to boost the infantry. That's...
Keep in mind, Frontline, I think his mana boom was a bit interrupted because he needed some unit quickly. So he's basically neck and neck with Russia. In a few batches of villager, he'll be at the same pace. He doesn't make manor houses. So Brits losing their, economic advantage on Russia. Longbowmen will try to trade, but these trolls...
Not enough of them. He needs more of them. Now he builds a quick wall.
With the quick wall. Very nice. Longbow and walls. Name a more iconic duo. But... Well, there's a more iconic duo. Cossacks and Raids.
And
villager
Frontline
dies.
has to idle more... constantly has to idle villagers. And the Brit has less villager than the Russian at this moment.
Indeed, and now he's sending town militia. This looks like a desperate move, but because he doesn't have the coin actually to send town militia. I think at that point, either Frontline needs to pull something crazy off or he's lost.
He has no 7 longbows in his stack. That's concerning. And points, we have Russia with the score lead of 3,000 points, and Russia mostly underscores and the Brits are overscoring, so the actual difference might be even bigger.
Yeah,
this looks exceptionally well for Ungurs right now.
And even though, colonial militia is... Sorry, town militia is really good for against Russia because town center fire can one-shot recruits with that, but there's no way. I was about to say winning this, and he resigns.
There are 12 villagers that ran out of the TC that would have been slaughtered by the Cossacks. Frontline would have had the 800 resources for the militiamen in any second now, but I think the overall situation is so against him that this game is definitely won by Ungurs, and Frontline saw it and pressed the surrender button.
I was saying something in the chat, like people saying like they should resign, they should do something, and sometimes careful on the wording, guys. But keep in mind these are tournament games. If you take a chance that your opponent will throw, you maybe have a 2% chance of winning. But if you resign right now, you have a 0% chance of winning. So I 100 like it's not that Ungurs was hiding a spy or hiding a villager at 50 minutes into the game. Like Ungurs, Frontline. Frontline
Frontline.
was taking a chance that Unger might throw the game. I think we can all respect that, especially in tournament games when there's actual money on the line, because the one that loses the quarterfinal doesn't get a chance to win that first place prize. So just for you guys keeping that in mind.
Yeah, definitely. I'm all in for resigning when the game is definitely lost, but especially in a tournament situation, you try to take any chance that you think is realistic. And Frontline fought, and unfortunately for him, it did not work out. So then he resigned after he saw no chance. But he tried until he tried and did his best until he saw no way of winning this. I
So
think we all can respect this, and I think this is the right way to do it.
yeah, exactly. So because of course the first game Ungers gets most resources, it's with Russia against Brits. So uh,
That
why
I
not?
think that shows how the game went overall. If you manage to get with Russians some 2,000 more resources
Um, from
without the game dragging on that much.
mhm. And also the power of spice trade. Like I'm really happy to see spice trade being put here. Really strong card. Look at that gather rate on the villagers. Um, this was channeled directly into recruits and strelets,
Yes.
um, and
Yes.
we saw the difference in mass. We saw the difference, and with Russia's map control, Frontline was boxed in, and basically Russia did a wonderful campaign on Britain. Even though he did have some villagers here, so
Fire.
he managed to escape the campaign. But really, really nice game from them. Did you have anything to add before I move on?
I said what I had to say.
No problem. Um, so I don't remember who had like 10K channel point on Frontline, but I think that press F in the chat to pay respect to that person.
F.
Um, so we are looking at the next game. I think it is up.
It
Because
is. It is up. It is, and
Frontline's game.
this has the potential to be the last game if Ungers wins it. And if Frontline wins it, we will see 7 out of 7 games.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For those who are joining us, this is game 5, I think.
Game
Uh,
6.
game
This
6.
has to
Oh
be
wow.
game 6.
Of the
Attention.
quarterfinals between Ungers and Frontline in the ESOC Summer Tournament. On the western part of the map,
Okay.
we have
Has to be game 6.
Frontline playing it's his signature civ, Mexico, against
Alright.
Ungers playing Brits.
And the
Uh,
Brits are in red. Thanks. Thanks, the T. The Brits are in red.
and we are on Gold Coast. I just realized we never put the videos of McLeaves on this one, and I'm very sorry. The game has begun, but just for the pleasure of it, we'll put Gold Coast video at the end of this one.
I will
Gold
remind
Coast,
you.
Gold Coast, a map with this which is full of resource, Water is good. The hunts are plentiful with the back elephants. The gold mine at the top, and well, I thought it were at the bottom, but not. At the bottom are plentiful. You have Jesuits. It can also spawn, I think, Akans, yes. That can ship you another gold mine in base. You will
Gold prospector wagon is insanely good in the late game.
you will not run out of gold on Gold Coast, which is
The only
fair.
negative is that the hunts are mostly elephants, and elephants will do whatever they want.
Yes.
You can't hurt those elephants, man. You can't hurt those elephants.
Yeah, welcome to the end of maybe hurting. It's Linux. This is a best of 7. And if I am not mistaken, Ungurs won the last one.
Yes.
So we are 3-2. This is
3-2
match.
for Ungurs.
Yeah, this is match point for Ungurs.
Yes, if Ungurs wins this, he wins the series. If Frontline wins this, we will see a 7th game.
As we have the decks going up. 1v1 pawns. I think this is honestly a very standard British deck.
This is a standard anti-water British deck, yes.
No surprises here. Frontline, Mexico's deck, Ivory Coast. So this is a specially crafted deck. Lots of card in H2, which, I want to remind Mexico main that you can put cards in H2 and actually use them and not revolt. So a rare sight.
You mean this is possible to not revolt as Mexico?
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi.
So, yeah, you can actually do that. We have an age up, I will guess, with Miko Hakan, and that is normal.
I'd really put my bet on this, and yes, it is. We will see it. This is the age up that makes Mexico exceptionally well into setting up a water eco.
I think Miko Hakan is just too good not to send it by late H2 or early H3. Like, who in their right mind will say no to a essentially sometimes 7 or 8 fishing boat plus a dock shipment in late H2? Like, this is amazing.
This is a really good eco shipment for water maps.
So, Kellen, the score. I didn't update the score. Give me a sec.
Yeah,
because the score is
it seems
wrong.
you forgot to update.
We'll be back in a quick second. So Ungurs was playing Russia and won. And let me just go back to this live cast. Don't worry, guys, you didn't miss anything because I was pausing the game. So it's 3-2 for Ungurs.
Yes.
So match point for Ungurs. I want to remind everyone that this is a best of 7. So the first 1 to 4 wins. What is this? All right, I guess we are rolling. So this is really interesting because that looks like he's preparing for like a Baja or something.
Yeah. Or he already made up his mind and said, I want to use longbows this game.
That's also a possibility.
But I think he expects some sort of aggressive play by Frontline. Or more than some sort, because he walls quite thoroughly around his base. So this will be impenetrable in the foreseeable future. And he has enough hunts inside it to sustain it for some time.
And I would be scared doing that against Mexico, because keep in mind, at any point, Mexico can Baja, take all the TPs, and train Monopoly.
Yeah. And even if it does not, he sent 3 trade post wagons. He did not need Bacher to do that. He just did it. He sent 3 trade post wagons. He says thanks for gifting me the map control. I'll
Yes.
just take the trade route and maybe switch onto water after that and have more eco than you can ever imagine.
5 settlers, and this is where Mexico's versatility is amazing. These settlers could become musketeers at any point. Obviously, there's some downsides. Sometimes when you're like fighting raw power versus raw power, like it's hard to overpower Brit musketeers when you just want a bigger stick to hit your opponent with. But Mexico has access to all kind of units in H2, especially the Saltier.
Mexicans can build any unit in common usage that they want. They have a skirm unit that is not half bad. They have good musketeers if you can afford them. They have one of the best pike units, especially for the price. If he chooses to go for Baja, I don't think Brits are the best victim against Baja, since British musketeers will have better stats than those filibusters.
Mm-hmm.
If Brit just can get enough mass of them.
Frontline has scouted those walls. He knows that Ungurs had to pay villager seconds and resources for those walls, and he's turtling, so I think he's chilling. Like, he has a ton of resources.
I think Frontline feels quite safe and comfortable right now. He does not have to fear any soon for Ungurs to push out. He just got his Stagecoach upgrade, so the trade route will finance itself quite easily and quite fast.
Look at that.
And yeah, he has some salteadores. That means he can just kite down the musketeers. I think
those are 425, so he better run.
I think Frontline is exactly in the situation that he wants to be in.
But he must not sleep on the fact that Ungurs is 42 villagers at 7 minutes. Like, I just didn't realize that he's almost max Torp before 8 minutes.
Max Torp is not quite the right term for this,
sorry.
but sure.
Oh god.
No Torps to be seen here, sadly. Sending now 6 longbowmen.
I mean,
Not sure if this is the right call. I'm not sure if this is the right call. I think Ungurs could send 700 gold and try to age up.
Those vills are not long for this world. Yes. Move them all. Yeah, that's. Bye bye, vills.
Yeah.
But he has 14 longbows, and you don't stand and fight against longbows. Like this will result in you losing resources really fast.
Yeah, especially behind the famed walls, standing in front of said longbows.
Yes.
And I think he's gonna help himself to a serving of 45 XP. There you go, maybe a 90. No. And here's the power of longbows. You have the range. You can deny your opponents a lot of, map presence, because if they stand there, you'll get some shots in.
Yeah. Definitely.
The other worrying thing is, even though there's a lot of resource on Gold Coast, Brits burn through the resource at a very scary rate. There's 2 elephants left, basically. Maybe a third here. So you might want to consider hurting these in.
You might want to try to hurt them in.
True, you might want to try. Oh, and I don't like what he's doing with those Salteadors. Like,
they are far from home.
Yes.
Fighting against longbows.
Ready.
This is not what they want to do in their free time.
Chinacos are going to go for a cheeky raid. But if we're looking at, a tally of military units. He has a bit of soldados, a bit of everything, but Brits has infantry, just infantry, but I feel like this is enough to scare Mexico. And I think he could take the TP line, and Frontline has invested a lot of resources into that TP line.
True, but if I think this TP line is hard to contest because you have to go in this pocket on the top side. And I'm not sure how well he can just burn down the one in the middle directly in front of the base.
So one thing to note is that he has a lot of longbowmen. So that cost wood and food. He did not deplete his coin reserves that much, so he still has enough if he sends 700 coin to go
Yeah, he
H3
could.
off of the in-base coin.
He sent both of his unit shipments, and now he's doing what you called. He is pushing the trade posts, starting with the most southern one.
As Mexico is sending some insurgente, Mexico has like the do or die mass now. He has about the same amount of units, but there's more cav in there. And those
There's more
longbows
cav.
need to walk back. Beautiful cover by the hussars. Longbows are now standing and fighting. This looks like a good fight for Brits.
Yeah, the hussars are body blocking the Chinaco, and that gives the infantry, the musketeers and the longbows the time they need to fight the other infantry or to shoot down the Chinacos, and then the hussars have the breathing space to attack the salteadores.
When we have some more insurgentes, basically the two cav mass have basically cancelled each other.
Yeah, we get the Scots Guard sent in the musketeer upgrade for Brits, and
So it's
that
and it's only gonna get worse
HP.
for Frontline.
So Ungurs is setting himself to stay in Commerce Age.
Oh, but look at that. Casual 8 fishing boat shipment in H2. Coming in.
Incoming.
So you're like Frontline is. I think someone said like maybe he's not respecting Ungurs that much. That shipment is good, but that shipment does not give you any units. And right now, what he needs is not necessarily more eco.
It gives him the water eco, the switch to the water eco, and in the long run it will show, but it will take some minutes for it to pay off. And it's the question if Frontline can afford those minutes.
And look at that. Hunt's being herded in, so Brits is not contained. Brits has 10 more villagers, and Brits has now, the upgrades. Longbowmen that can threaten from range, so if it ever goes to a passive game and Frontline does not go to H3, well, I'd say Ungurs wins by default. Obviously, you can grab the Chinacos and everything, but
yeah, if the game drags on in Commerce Age, Ungurs will win just because his units are have better quality, especially his musketeers, which are double carded now. So they have 26 damage and 173 HP, which makes them definitely more resource efficient musketeers than the Soldado.
I personally love to see it. Those longbowmen, doing out of range shot, like when people are moving away. That's always beautiful to see. And
yeah, that some insurgente just popped out, tried to get a snare, did not manage, ran away, and half of them just died to longbow fire.
And Ungurs taking some of the TP lines, so that's less and less of an advantage for Frontline.
Yeah, if he manages to take the TP line for himself, he can just turn around all this eco advantage and put it on top of his own eco advantage, which is the almost 60 villagers. And he sends now 2 caravels to contest the water eco.
Oh, you're right. I didn't see it. And what Frontline sending? Frontline not sending anything right now. Unfortunately, the Longbowmen are a bit caught in a pickle.
Yeah. The Chinakos got a good engagement onto them, but now they get caught off by the Musketeers. And we have more longbows
Oh,
and
and the
hussars.
reinforcement for Frontline from Ungurs
Yeah.
so huge. Oh, that looks like GG.
This is a huge reinforcement. There are enough musketeers to fend off the cav, there are enough longbows to shoot the soldados to bits, and there are enough hussars to endanger the salteadores.
And
Frontline draws
as we see that the water eco Frontline is getting torn to pieces, those guys are way too far from the dock to be saved. So a lot of this water eco is just gone.
Frontline does not look at it, I think. Frontline
is right now looking at, well, the remnants of his water eco.
Yeah, he ignored it or he did not notice it, and now his water eco is basically dead. There's a caravel coming out of there's a British dock. I thought this was the Mexican one. This is the Mexican one back there.
This is my water.
He's sending now 2 sloops, but Ungurs building a 3rd caravel, and that way he can just destroy the 2 sloops that are coming. So he anticipates the retaliation.
Yeah, Frontline just going for an desperate attempt to just destroy Brit's eco, but this means that Frontline is losing his hacienda, he's losing map control, and yeah, sure, Brits lost a few villages in there. Like,
I think Frontline's infrastructure on land and on water is breaking down in this moment at the same time. He cannot save both. He cannot save one of those 2 things.
And look at the longbows. Every time he hesitates, he just loses 1 unit.
The game seriously switched into the favor of Ungurs.
And I think this is a cleanup. Chinaku won't be enough against British carded musketeers.
I can't see how this is not a cleanup. We have almost double the score. Not double, but 8,000 points score lead for Ungurs now.
As we have, Soldados trying to move away, Frontline keeping his mass up, Frontline trying to make units, but this is super exposed. The water eco is basically gone.
The water eco is in shambles.
I think it's honestly a mistake to ship those 2 sloops. Like, you're gonna lose that, 100%.
If Ungurs did not think about that possibility and did not build a 3rd caravel, the 2 sloops could have done something, but
Ungurs, this is a questionable position for your longbowmen. They were in melee of the Soldados, but I think at that point he could just attack move the town center and be fine. I think even the score. I think like Frontline right now is like hoping his opponent throws, but like with that level of play, that's not gonna happen at 10k score.
When your enemy has double the score lead, he needs to delete his army on accident for you to be able to come back from this, I think.
And like Brits realizing that the pup is here, there's no alternative barracks, so every time it pops, you get some resources thrown away.
Caravels are raiding the villagers on land. They try to hunt together from the elephants.
And Frontline called it.
And this is game.
So on this win, Ungurs take this best of 7 4-2. Let me bring you
exploring the backside. Wow.
I mean, let's just go on the quick recap of the post game, I guess. Unsurprisingly, here Ungurs gets the most resource by a wide margin. Best trades, best anything. Honestly, I saw Callan in the chat really saying something that sums up the game. Is like having a skirm in H2 is nice, but not nice when your opponent has longbows in H2. Like,
Yeah.
and from there, Brits just took more and more map control, keeping the mass of longbows up, defending them, making sure they were standing and fighting,
Yeah.
and the rest
I
was
really,
history.
I really thought Angus was almost gifting Frontline a victory by giving all this map control, but Frontline was not able to put on the pressure that it needed to keep Angus in his base to starve him out, and then Angus just came back with a huge infantry mass. And as you said, it's really good to have H2 skirms, but if the enemy is Brits, it is futile.
And I really want to bring you guys' attention on this graph of military population. Look how chipped it is for Frontline. Like here and there, losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's like about 20 units that never got any impact because there weren't any fight whatsoever, because basically the longbow, chipped away at this mass. And this is really death by a thousand cut right there. Imagine you don't have this chipped away line. Like Frontline is here, and maybe that's a different game. So longbow really, really pulling their weight. Sorry. And pushing away Frontline from map control, and really smart to have Ungurs covering all angles and chipping the caravel, even making a third one to really bring the point home that you're not pushing me off water, like you're not getting back in there. All right, let me put you guys in transition while I set up everything back up. Sorry. So we have Frontline, unfortunately, losing with his beloved Mexico, and Ungurs is the winner of today's battle, and won this game with Brits. So, I think I'm missing a civ here. It was Hausa versus German, Malta versus Horde, Hausa versus Inca, Ottoman versus
Ottoman
French.
against French.
Oh, Russia
Brits
versus
against
Brits.
Russia.
Yeah.
Brits against Russia. Frontline played Brits.
And it was Mexico. I lost again. All right. So as I'm putting this here, so you can have the whole result of the series. Ungurs wins 4-2. Basically, if you want to sum up of the matches for those who just joined us, Ungurs wins on a beautiful micro from Germany with Black Riders against the Hausa Cav Mass. Unfortunately loses to a very swift and smart H3 by Malta, shadow taking his unit. He made longbow with British Tongue. Subsequently wins with Hausa against Inca in a game that could have been really disputed because Frontline kept turtling and really took amazing trade given the situation. He lost with France to the power of ASAPs with artillery. Won with Russia, containing Britain and taking map control, and as you just saw, used the power of longbows to kill his opponent's Mexican mass. That is pretty much all we have for this best of 7. Congratulations to Ungurs for winning this. Congratulations to Frontline too, for getting up to quarterfinals. That's still a performance. Let me check if anything is up in the casting booth. We don't have any other things today, I think. Do you have any?
You said you wanted to show the map video for Gold Coast after the
Oh,
cast.
that's true. And just for the pleasure of showing McLeave's absolutely gorgeous work, do we have Gold Coast? Oh, we actually don't have Gold Coast. We have Ivory Coast. But let me show you just one. Just let me show you Guyanas real quick, and we'll be back in a minute after this video of McLeave's showing you Guyanas.
The Guyana Highland is a highly contested region east of the Orinoco River, known for its tremendous biodiversity. Players will fight for control of a large valley, which is home to several Tupi and Carib settlements, while 2 trade routes lie on the outskirts of the map. Players will find an abundance of food in this region, but may need to extend out of their base to secure additional mines.
All right, people. So there you have it. 4-2 for Ungurs. There may be another cast. I'm talking about maybe casting Kevin versus Grogu. It might not be us, might be someone else. We'll keep you updated with that. But I think the cast is what 3 hours, yeah, almost 3 hours long. So we'll take I think a small break. Megas and I.
Yeah.
We thank you very much for being here. Before finishing the stream, I want to say, and while I say prepare for potential raid ideas, people, I want to have sorry, ESOC partner a thank for ESOC partner clans, because ESOC is not alone. In every 3 community, there's a lot of different community that work together to make this happen. As some of you might know, for example, I'm one of the Sunbros. So let's thank ESOC Partner Clan, Yukitis Cuties, Biblioteca, Free Food Party, Age of Sunbros, Nicius' Fire Pit, the House of Jaeger, the 3D Community AOEMC, Royal Clan, and the Aerie 3 Llama Game Archive. So thank you for these guys for relaying the messages that ESOC is online to have those wonderful numbers. I think we got up to 180 people here. So thank you so much, you guys, for being here, whether it's through these Discords or directly through Twitch. And I guess, do you have anything to add, Megas?
Both players fought tooth and nail in this series, and Ungurs won it with really really well and played well and won it deservedly. And we thank both for playing in this tournament.
Great words. Again, thank you all. I forgot to thank one last person, you, Megas, for casting with me and being a wonderful co-caster. And leaving me alone for 3 hours, which is nice. So with that, I think we will raid people. Do you guys have any raid ideas? I'm gonna open up my Twitch so we can keep you guys entertained.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Always an honor to cast with the Dunamai, with the Lord of the Sheep.
That indeed. We have Timogene casting. Oh, and he's casting Wolosium. Sorry, not casting, but playing Wolosium. All right, people. It's time we bring you to the glorious world of Wolosium, I think. So let me just Twitch. ESOC TV. Thanks for the cast, Kelly. Thank you for being here, Kelly. Don't worry, I'm just right now getting Moderator view. I am not. Doing this right. Yes, I am. /raid. My PC is a bit slow, but we'll get there eventually. Raid Timogene. All right, I think we got our raid on our hands. Do you guys see it?
I at least don't. Oh, now it's here. It's here.
Oh, wow. All right. Thanks for being here, people, and have a wonderful day.
Bye.